Hey everybody, today I want to talk about joy in the middle of less than joyful events. And a lot of people will point to a verse that's in Nehemiah. It's Nehemiah 8:10, and it says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." And that's good. But if you actually go back and look at Nehemiah at this verse, people kind of leave off the beginning of it. And I think the beginning of it is one of the things that actually is most important. In the Amplified, it says, "Do not be worried, for the joy of the Lord is your strength and your stronghold." I like that a lot. Do not be worried. Because, why am I not going to be worried? Because the joy of the Lord is my strength and my stronghold. Now, you're saying, well, that's a great verse, but when you're in the middle of something that is very stressful or very upsetting, it is just really difficult to think, well, I'm going to have joy in the middle of this situation. If you've got a financial need or if you've got a problem in a relationship, it's just really hard sometimes to think, well, I'm going to have joy. But I think what we need to do is to change our focus. Instead of looking at the problem and going over and over and over the problem again, what we have to do is to shift our focus. And we need to focus on God. We need to focus on Jesus. We need to focus on what the Bible says about He's always with us, that He always provides a way for us to win, that He has promised to take care of us and provide for us and protect us. There are tons and tons of promises in the Bible, and we need to look at those instead of focusing all of our thoughts and our emotions around the problem. And it is difficult. I am not going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, it's really easy." It's not. I've been going through something, and it is very stressful at times. But the times when I feel the most stressed out about it is also when I have to remind myself, wait, 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 wait. You're not focusing on the solution. And I know it's coming through God, and it is coming. I'm just focusing too much on the problem, on what's wrong. And so you really have to shift your focus. And in the middle of going through something, it really helps if you have somebody to remind you of that. So this is a little reminder for you this week, but also it helps if you are focusing on the promises and on what God has for you. And I'm going to say this is probably like the best known verse from Nehemiah. If you ask me anything else that's in that chapter, I don't think I could tell you. So the New Testament, though, that's where we find out who we are and what we have because we've accepted Jesus into our life. So if you're going through something, I suggest that you hang out in the New Testament and maybe something that Paul wrote or James or Peter. They have a lot of information in there about who we are because we have to figure this out. It's not like we get saved and ding, 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 we understand everything there is to know about being a Christian. It is not that way at all. It's sort of a progressive thing. I mean, you start with some of the simple precepts and some of the the easier to understand aspects of being a Christian, and then you build on that. And having joy in situations where it's not normal to have joy is one of those strange things that God has promised us we can have that goes completely counter to what the world says. But if you maintain looking at God and focusing on Jesus and who we are now while you're going through something, I guarantee you it will make it easier to deal with. And also in the Bible, it says that once we come through a trial or something, a test like that, we come out stronger. So we just have to keep our focus on the solution, and that's coming through God instead of the problem. So today, I want to remind you about Nehemiah 8:10. Do not be worried, for the joy of the Lord is your strength and your stronghold. And there is so much in that verse that comforts us. So, if you're going through something, I'm going through something, but we can all count on God to never leave us and never forsake us, and always, always be true to His Word. So, be joyful this week, even if you have something going on. It will be okay. Don't be worried. Focus on God, focus on the solution, not on the problem. Bye bye. Have a good week.